¿Qué tal a todos ustedes que nos ven ahora a través de este video? We are here live. No, we're not. We're not live.
No, we're not.
I don't know why I always think we're live.
Because it's live. Radio.
Just kidding, live.
Yeah, no estamos en vivo. But welcome to our new podcast. Our new podcast, what's the name of it? What's the name?
Ypg Speaks.
Ypg Speaks? What the?
Spoken word.
Spoken word. You're a little inspired today.
To be discussed.
There's this podcast called I'll Name This Podcast Later. We should have taken like inspiration. Pero bueno, ni modo. Aquí nos encontramos and nosotros hacemos parte de West Park, the Cathedral, que está aquí en Houston, Texas. I'm here with Jackie. Jackie, say what's up.
Hey, guys.
Tengo aquí a El Fercho.
Hey.
Tenemos aquí a Ivana.
Hi.
Peter, say what's up.
Hi, guys.
Yo sé que tal vez se mira como todo está bien arreglado, but this is like the second time we tried shooting. Ya arreglamos la mesa unas like 4 times and we got it now, ya. Pero para hablar con ustedes un poco más de lo que nosotros tuvimos en esta semana, we had nuestra reunión en California, ¿no? De los nacidos para el altar, and I'm glad to say que todos nosotros vinimos. That was our Alex kids.
That's the camera guy.
It's fine. He's new to the job. It's all good.
I wish you could like turn the camera.
Soon we will. But nosotros tuvimos la reunión y fue una buena experiencia. Estábamos hablando un poco, ¿no? Lupito, what was your favorite part? ¿Cuál fue tu parte favorita?
Bueno, my favorite part was when we all arrived. Nosotros llegamos, claro, el viernes por la noche. Y en esa noche, pues, nos encontramos con el otro grupo que fue manejando. Right? It was a few hours for them to drive. Pero, a lot. Like, practically a day. Prácticamente un día entero, pobrecitos.
Yeah.
Pero nosotros llegamos y fuimos a comer pizza ahí por Santa Mónica. Y pues de ahí solo Dios sabe lo que nos aconteció.
And it was real fun, Fercho. What part did you like the most?
It was fun, you know. I liked, you know, seeing all the youth arrive, you know. A shout out to New Jersey, you know.
Why New Jersey?
You know, because, you know, I was, you know, helping, you know, get the youth out of the van and into the hotel we were staying, you know, and 2 vans pull up, and I'm like, oh, it's us, it's ours.
We're the only ones who got vans.
Yeah, we're the only ones that have vans, but it turned out to be New Jersey, you know, and...
What they said to you? ¿Qué te dijeron?
You know, they were like, what's going on here?
They're like they're trying to kidnap the van.
But that's kind of like when it hits you, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's not just Texas, New Jersey, it's New York, it's California. You know, it's all these states coming in together.
And you saw, man, there was just so, like, an insane amount of all of us, no? Claro, los de Texas, pero like you said, no, it's much bigger than us. Yo sé que they always say, no, everything's bigger in Texas, but, well, yeah, the YPG's bigger also. It's almost, we're a lot. We were steady mobbing out there. Jackie, your favorite part?
Well, I did have several favorite parts, no? But I want to say, you know, hanging out. We went to grab pizza. That was one of my favorite. You know, we're all getting settled in, but we're all already been through some crazy chaos. I mean, at least us that were driving. And we're just looking forward to, you know, going to the room. But I will want to say another one of my favorite parts was when all the nacidos went to the front and me and Miss Lupita were at the 2nd floor, no? And we were taking pictures, right? And Bishop Glomir was talking, no? And
he choked up.
Yeah, he choked up about his daughter, no? And I started tearing up. I was looking at the camera, I started tearing up, and I was like, you know, it's so amazing how he really fought for his daughter, no? He fought, yeah. She just became, you know, an obrera and everything. And I saw, like, a bit of my mom, you know, in that aspect, because she did fight for me too, no?
Porque quien estaba hablando no era el obispo.
Exactly.
Clodomir era padre.
Exactly.
It was a father.
Exactly. And so I saw, you know, my mom, you know, the struggle. And when I saw him choke up, I started getting teary-eyed, no?
Like,
yeah, I was like, man, I'm just trying to take pictures here. And like, I started getting choked up, and I was just like, wow, it's amazing, no? And then looking down and seeing everybody from different states, not just us, Texas, just looking down and seeing all those people in like the black and all black and they just kept coming. They just kept coming like Bishop.
Yo pensé, I'm like, no hay más espacio. And there were still people coming down.
They were still coming because we were like upstairs, and we could hear the people still going down the stairs. And it was crazy, but it was so amazing how, all these people want to serve God, and want to help other souls. And I just kept looking down. I'm like, man, they're all going to be like pastors' wives, bishops' wives. It's going to be amazing, no? It's such a blessing to be able to be here and witness such a beautiful, like, moment, no?
O sea, uno está mirando, ¿no? La obra de Dios, not the work of God, pero literalmente lo que Dios anda haciendo en el YPG. Ivana, go for it.
So my absolute favorite part was part of the word that Bishop gave, no? And it was, because he said a lot of things that spoke, but one thing that really stuck out to me was that he was saying, when everyone was down on the altar, like he was saying that this is what he believes, and what a lot of us now believe is to be the last generation of pastors and pastors' wives. And when he was talking about that, like, I just kept imagining, like when you see, because every day what a pastor and pastor's wife does is they fight a spiritual war too, no, for themselves and also for the people, no. So I kept imagining in my head, like, just like the multitude of everyone, and like being like in my head now, imagining like in soldiers, like in a uniform like that, and like, but not only that, but like coming back from war, no, like entering into the kingdom of heaven, but realizing that you're coming back from that war, and how much of an honor that is, and not only that you're coming, but you get that like honor and privilege to help save like you could say like the last people that God wants to save. And I think like, I don't know, like I've just been, even right now, like I still get mesmerized, like just like that vision doesn't leave my head now.
You see, one of the things que me llamó mucho la atención, if you ever read, no, de las bienaventuranzas de Jesús, Jesus, he spoke to thousands of people. That was the first sermon he did, no. Yo me quedo imaginando los discípulos y como que la voz se fue. Like, yo, Jesus is about to pull up. Jesús va a hablar, like, yo, get ready for this, man. And that's what we were doing. Like viernes, like you guys said, no, solo Dios sabe. Saturday was no joke. Yo ya estaba despierto. Saludos al Fercho, que estaba roncando, que me despertó. Woke up, everything was ready. Fuimos a agarrar los vans, fuimos a recoger los jóvenes. It was one trip right after the other. And all of this, like, I can say the whole day went y yo ni siquiera estaba comiendo. I didn't eat.
We ate the one donut we had in the morning that she went to go get us, right, Pastor? I like that's all I ate that day, that and the coffee.
I think it was all the nerves.
And that's what I made. I made it throughout the rest of the day, like throughout everything else, the checking in and everything. And I was just like, it was what time did we eat? Was it like midnight? I think?
Yeah, night, right? What was
like midnight?
Yeah. No, pero que, like, you see, and yo solo me quedo pensando, yo, sacrifice is gonna be worth it.
But it was so amazing though. We ate late, but I wouldn't have ever had it any other way, because it was such an amazing day. We were running around like crazy, just doing left and right. I was running up them stairs because the elevators were so packed. Everybody was trying to get checked in. And I remember at one point I was like, I'm just take the stairs. I was walking up like flights of stairs. But it was something so beautiful, It's such an honor to be able to do those things, And
like I said, nosotros estábamos trabajando, why? Claro, ¿no? Para que la reunión sea una bendición el domingo, but like, you just think about it, like that's the servant, that's the angel, eso es el ángel que Dios va a usar para hablar con todos nosotros. Because I took something out of that. Y esa parte encima was full. Y yo solo, man, yo ya me imagino, the disciples, like, just being happy, right? Like, de tantas personas escuchar a Jesús hablar. And so, you see that the youth group is much more than just a group. Es más que un grupo en la iglesia. Es más que un grupo religioso. It's much more than that. Yo siempre hablo con los jóvenes, like, tu futuro está aquí. Like, your future is here, you know what I mean? Y son cosas así que van ayudando a todos nosotros, van animando a todos nosotros, and it makes us, like you said, even till today, like I'm still thinking about that, and you run back and forth, and el evento de los jóvenes, forget about it, it was another level, you know what I mean? Like, they were like, no, you gotta sit upstairs. Ain't nobody sitting upstairs, man. We Texas, we staying right here. Ni siquiera que nos quedamos parados.
We stood on the right side and they were looking at us like we were crazy.
Y después de los de Pasadena, they had a sombrero, no, that we gave pastor. Pero, you know, it's that. And then Jocabet, shout out to Jocabet?
I think so.
Shout out to you, Jocabet, even though you tuviste miedo de nosotros, pero we still love you. You know, but like, is that, like, you just get happy and you're just like, yo, like, this is cool. Y hasta nos animó porque, like, Saturday, you go through the whole day, estás cansado. Ay, domingo was another day. Yendo, regresando. Tú empezaste a llevar todos like 11 o'clock, ¿no? 11 de la mañana.
11 o'clock, around there.
Imagine that. Y ahí vamos, Ahí, por fin, en el final, like 5 in the afternoon, tuvimos ese tiempecito, ¿no? To like walk, like relax un poco. Yeah, for real, take a deep breath.
Got on that scooter with the wind.
Yeah. Clip is gonna come up right now. And then we can even put Pastor Gene's clip, ¿no? El clip de él en el scooter, compare quién lo hizo mejor. But yeah, you know, y somos más de una familia, ¿no? For real, ¿no? Me quedo contento that you guys enjoyed it, que los jóvenes nuestros aquí, like, they loved it also. Y usted que nos ve and you want to be part of a group like that, o tal vez no te has entregado tanto, you should, you know, take that step. Don't be scared, no tengas miedo de decir, you know, sabes que quiero hacer parte de esta familia. I forgot who I told que en el inicio, for me, you know, with the youth group, era un poco difícil porque everybody would be like, oh, somos una familia. And I wouldn't believe it. I'd be like, no, like, these are just people I go to church with, pero después empecé a entender, no, we're family, somos una familia, and we help each other, no.
I think we all start off like that, no? Because I know I heard that too, and I was like, why y'all playing?
You were like, in the hood, there's no familia.
I was like, why y'all playing? No, it's just it's just a church group. Like, y'all so serious about it, no? But, you know, over time, you know, I started like coming and I started taking things serious, no? And I started like having fun with everybody, you know, having fun. Like, that's like, it's as cliche as it sounds, you know, it's so fun, you know, and everybody's in the same mindset. Yeah. So, you know, almost everybody's in the same mindset. So we understand each other, you know, what we go through, no, because we don't have the same problems as like somebody out there, no, diríamos, because their mentality's out there, but we know the battles that are inside and outside, no, we understand each other on a whole nother level. And I think that's what makes us even closer.
O sea, el foco, no, Lupira, isn't just us overcoming our problems de la manera que lo podemos. Es más de eso. It's us having that objective. Y es el Ypg que nos ayuda. It like kind of gives us tunnel vision, ¿no? Para ser feliz, para andar en alegría, para tener la familia unida, all of that, ¿no? Y es eso que hacemos.
Y el grupo joven, pues, une a muchas personas, ¿no? De una forma increíble. Like, a veces nosotros nos vemos unos a los otros and probably outside we'd be like, oh, I would never hang out with them. Pero dentro del grupo joven tú te unes with one another and you just connect. Creo que este tipo de evento de viajar a otro estado, ver la multitud de jóvenes, ver a tantas personas que tienen esa misma visión, que quieren ser ayudados, que quieren mejorar, ayuda para que nosotros vengamos a ver que no estamos solas. That we're not alone on this, that we are together, que con esos tiempos así pequeños de caminar juntos, de reírnos, de comer, de dormir en el mismo cuarto, nos une así bien y vemos cómo cada uno de nosotros somos, and I think that's the best thing about the Ypg, que te ayuda a tener amigos, una familia que realmente te va a ayudar, que te va a apoyar, porque así, para nosotros fuimos realmente no pensando en lo que iba a acontecer, pero nos unió tanto de, yo, I got your back.
Yeah.
Yo, así, uno estaba solo, pero I got you, it's alright.
You know, es una de las cosas que me gustó porque, for example, Alex, Chuy, Isaac, Yufer, los muchachos del Shepherd, like, I was like, hey, tenemos que ir acá. Alright, Pastor, bet, ya estoy. Hey, tenemos que recoger a fulano. Hey, done. Hey, me ayudan con esto, done. You know, like, it was cool. Y yo sé que, you know, algunos, they were like, Pastor, are you okay? Like, you don't look so good.
I
like,
know.
Pastor, did you eat? Oh, I
was sitting some of the times I was just there like, anyone is like, problemas? I'm like, I'm fine. Pero ya era bien noche, ¿no? Durante el día I was fine. I was up and down. Pero ya en la noche I was like, okay.
Yeah, we were
I was busy.
eat and sleep.
Entonces, it was good.
It was no joke. Pero ahí viene, ¿no? El lujo de estar en el YPG. De nuevo, ¿no? Estamos aquí en Texas. Estamos aquí en muchas áreas de Texas. Sea Pasadena, sea Katy, Rosenberg, Gessner. Estamos en Shepherd, aquí en West Park. Estamos en la 6115 de la Southwest Freeway. So we're in front of the Pulga de la 59, next to the gas. Yo, speaking of gas.
Oh my God.
Yo.
Wait, no, you don't even know the half of it, Pastor. You don't know the half of it. So we're on our way out of Cali, right? We're getting close to like the border before we stopped at the rest stop because we were done on the way out. We were on the way here. It was fun. You know, we played games, we snacked, we did it all, right? On our way there to Cali, no? But from Cali to Texas, it was just like zombie mode. Like everybody was done, everybody was asleep.
The best part, seeing those gas prices drop
let me
from
tell
Cali to Texas.
Let me tell you. So we're driving and I'm trying to make it all the way to the end of Cali because I'm like, I know these gas prices are crazy, right? So I'm trying to make it probably to like New Mexico, right? Or Arizona. I'm like, well, it's Arizona, no? And of course it wasn't gonna last, you know. I had like 4 miles left and I was like, yo, we gotta exit. Yeah, we gotta exit because we got to the spot where we're in the middle of nowhere, no? And so we're like,
poco va revelando. Little by little.
So we had to exit because we thought we could go more, and they were like, no, we had to exit here. We took an exit. We down to the gas station. There's 2 gas stations, 619, 639. And I was like, what? So Rachel looks over. So Rachel was driving también, no? So Rachel looks over. She's like, you think 50 will do? And I was like, Rach, it'll do something. So we get to another gas station. It'll do something. And so we pumped gas. At least it got to halfway, guys. At least it got to halfway. But we were just like, we need to get out of Cali. We need to make it to Arizona because Cali's prices were ridiculous. We're like, oh my God.
¿Cuánto fue para llenar la van?
140.
Each van. Alex, how much is the van? How much to fill up your van? 155.
His was the most empty, I think.
A ver, let me go get Isaac. I'll be back.
Oh my God.
I think the highest I had to pay was 84 to fill up the full tank.
That's right.
Yeah, that was the height. I was like, I'm gonna hear it from my dad. I used his, not gonna lie, I used his business card to pay for it. I was like,
thanks, Dad. Thank you.
Love you, Papa.
It was crazy though. Them gas prices, like when we stopped, like we were literally like just looking at the signs. Me and Rachel were like, oh my God, like we're complaining in Texas about what is like $3 or something, right? And over there it's like $6 something, almost $7 per gallon.
Okay,
That's
okay.
Crazy.
Entonces, Fercho, you wasted how much in the van? ¿Cuánto en la van?
It was 140, right?
140? A ver, Isaac, come. Isaac, ¿cuánto era para llenar la van?
155, 155.
My goodness. And me and Rachel were talking about 50 for half tank. We were surprised.
Por eso dice el pastor que dos son mejores que uno, porque como andábamos juntos, era mitad y mitad, pastor.
When I was just like, porque estábamos en el final, right? We were going to give him the keys. We're giving him the keys, right? Ahí estamos entregando los vans, and I ask, what's his face? I ask Alex, I go, hey, how are we going to do it? ¿Cómo lo vamos a hacer? Like, do we give it in? And everybody's like, yeah, Pastor, just give him the keys. I was like, we giving the keys with empty gas, sin gasolina? De la última vez que yo sé, de lo que yo sé.
Up, like to where they gave it to you, to the level they gave it to you.
They gave it. No. Hold on. So I'm like, yo, de lo que yo sé, like tienes que llenarlo, like you gotta fill it up. They're like, no, Pastor, look, it says 200 miles free. And I'm like, okay, está bien. But how much you did? 240, 210, 203, 204. That. I'm like, yo creo que tienen que llenarlo. And then they're like, no, Pastor, no. I'm like, okay, está bien. No lo llenen, pero if they tell me something went wrong, ustedes me van a pagar. Everybody in agreement? Then they're just like, I'm like, no, so go fill it up. I didn't go fill it up. I didn't come back. Ahí viene el conductor, no, some employee who was there. He like drove by. He said, you can leave the van there. I was like, hey, I had a question. Do we need to fill up the van? He's like, yeah, you need to leave it how they gave it. And then I was like, oh, guys, How'd they give it to you? Full. I was like, well, duh. How are we gonna give it back empty? ¿Cómo lo vamos a regresar vacío? So, yeah, it's those things. It's a fun adventure. It was fun. It was fun. But, you know, that's what the YPG does. Eso es lo que el YPG hace. Y cada uno tiene una historia diferente. A ver, Rachel, where you at? Pull up. I know you're out here like Miss Soccer, bending like Beckham over here. Sweat. I feel the sweat, the perspiration. Estoy jugando. Pero, a ver, yeah, bring a little banca. You guys pull up to the side. This wasn't planned. Nunca es programado, pero pull up, Isaac, siéntate por un lado por ahí. Rachel, tú antes tenías problemas con ansiedad, ¿verdad?
Sí.
And how would that work? ¿Cómo era eso?
So, la ansiedad fue una de las cosas más peores en mi vida que me marcó. Eso era tan mal para mí que cuando yo andaba en el trabajo, yo no conseguía vencer eso yo misma. Yo me encerraba en el cuarto de donde trabajaba y yo me metí allí y yo le pedía al supervisor, ¿me puedo meter? Tener un turno donde están las cámaras y ahí entonces me pegaba esa ansiedad.
So you'd have like attacks even at work?
Sí, pero ellos no era como un ataque que ellos notaban, era algo en la mente, ¿no?
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you'd close in y ya apagabas.
Yes, I would close in, como que haz de cuenta que yo me veía yo misma, en mi mente encerrada como en un una caja oscura y no podía lograr salir y como que tenía una ansiedad tan drástico, ¿no? Con ganas de gritar, con ganas de romper el cabello de mi.
So that's how. And Isaac, you can confirm this. You guys knew each other. Puedes entrar, tranquilo. Even though you're a little sweaty too, it's alright. I will forgive you. Entonces, tú también puedes comprobar esto.
Yeah, I can confirm this because a veces salíamos, we would go out to dinner with the family. Okay. I would invite her like, hey, we're gonna go to this restaurant, come with us. And we'll be there eating and then más, she would tell me like, hey, I need to go to the restroom. And I'd be like, okay, I'll go with you. Íbamos y luego entraba ella al baño y me mandaba mensaje, hey, I'm having an anxiety attack, a panic attack. Give me a couple minutes, I'll be out in a little bit. Y como like, normal.
Yeah, y cuando yo entraba en el baño, yo me quedaba en el baño más grande, en la esquina, en un rincón, rinconcito, yeah. And I would just, ahí me aguantaba, and I would go in that rinconcito porque pues había mucha gente, ¿no? Y no quería que nadie me miraba por abajo. Yeah, so like estaba ahí en la esquina y yo pasaba por eso en la mente. Y pues eso me pasaba mucho especialmente cuando estaba con su familia, cuando andábamos de fiesta, de...
Well, hold on. So, ¿tú tenías esos problemas y aún tú ibas a las fiestas? A las discotecas, a los bailes. Explain this to me.
Sí, pues antes de... Eso me pegaba antes de tomar, ¿no? Entonces, cuando yo me acuerdo que también fuimos a México. Fuimos a México para un festival y allí, aún así sufriendo, ahí sentada alrededor de todos que se miraban alegres y todo, yo allí me aguanté y él estaba conmigo. Yo le decía, todavía no estoy lista, espera para que pase y ya en cuanto pasaba tiempo, ok, ahora sí, vamos a beber,
vamos
a tomar.
Oh no, vamos a... Bueno, entonces tenías esos problemas and you still would go, aún tú ibas a las barras, cantinas, etc. Sí. What would you think about all this? ¿Qué tú pensabas?
I don't know. To me, it was like, honestly, I thought it was going to be normal. Yo pensaba, es parte de la vida, todos pasaban por esto, algún día se la va a pasar. Porque yo le decía, I would ask her, like, yo, what can I do to help you? Can I go buy medicine? Can I go buy you something in particular? Y decía, no, like, you can't do anything. It was going to pass in a couple minutes. Just give me a little bit and it's going to pass. Y yo ahí nomás sentado esperándola unos 15, 20 minutos y luego ya salía. It's like, okay, I'm done. Like, I'm ready. Y como si nada.
So, like, what? Imagine, tal vez ustedes que nos ven, you have that situation, que tú tienes un problema y tú ya piensas que es algo normal, ¿no? en Jack, y mirando un poco de tus fotos, tú también, I don't know if you had anxiety, tal vez puedes hablar, pero tú también andabas en the clubs y todo. ¿Y cómo era tu vida antes?
So I did develop anxiety. Not as intense as Rachel's, no, pero sí llegué a un punto con una ansiedad que no comía. So yo cuando regresé, porque yo de pequeña conocí a la iglesia, ¿no? And you know, I knew Partno and everything. I knew the Ypg. Yeah, so I left, right? And I was drinking, like, you know, I started drinking like heavily, like to the point where I would black out. So I was always drinking like hard liquor, no? And I was always smoking weed. Like those are my two combos where to go to, no? Because I was very angry, no? I felt very angry at everything, at everyone. So the only time that I felt supuestamente like quote unquote no good was when I was high and drunk. So I was always, you know what they call like crossfaded, no? If I had to go to school, I'd have a bottle in the car, a bottle of liquor, was it vodka or whiskey, anything, like you name it, I would have it in the car, and I'd take like a couple gulps with some friends, and then I'd go inside drunk a la escuela. And then me salía como para lunch to go smoke a couple blunts, or you know, I couldn't go a day without smoking weed at all. Like I had to smoke minimum like three times a day minimum. So it was like for breakfast, and then again a second time during breakfast time. Like so.
Well balanced meal.
Man, I wouldn't eat nothing.
Vitaminas, wake and bake.
It was literally
pure nutrients.
That was like my thing. No, I was known as the pothead. So I walked in class and I smelled like just straight up weed. Everybody knew it. My teachers knew it. They were just like, "Come on, can you at least put some perfume on?" No, and I'd be like, "Nah." You know, so I was always high. So that's how I drove. That's how I just rolled, like everything. Like there's a lot of times where I don't remember getting home or dropping off people or anything, no? And because that's just how I wanted to live, feeling numb, like that numb feeling, like where I would get so high where it was just, I couldn't even feel my fingers, no?
Entonces, you just wanted to escape? Querías escapar?
Yeah, I wanted to mentally escape. I liked the feeling of feeling like I wasn't there, no? Mm-hmm. And at home, because I had like a very heavy hatred, no, towards like one of my family members. So I just felt like nobody could tell me nothing, no? So I was like 14, 15, staying out, no? I wouldn't come back home till like the next day, no? It was like 7 a.m. My mom's like, you know, blowing up my phone all night and everything. She's like, where are you? And I wouldn't pick up. And I was just so mad. I was just so mad. I was like, what are you calling me for? Like, what do you care, you know? So that's just how I lived from like 14 to, I want to say till I was like 20 something, to like 20, 21. Uh-huh. I think when I hit that time frame was when I dropped a whole bunch of pounds because I developed anxiety. Because from the anger and everything that I was trying to numb, when I tried to do it for the anxiety with weed and the drinking, it just wasn't doing it for me. And it just got to the point where I cried all night. I would cry all night. I would shake all night. I couldn't keep any food down because of the anxiety. I couldn't think. I wasn't working because I couldn't work. Because I literally just started crying out of nowhere. I just felt the need to just start crying. And I just felt like I couldn't do it anymore. Like, I remember I had decided on the Friday, no, I was going to come to church. Because I already knew, you know, I already knew where I had to do. Because there was nothing.
No hay como alguien que ya estuvo en la iglesia o ya participó de algo que tenemos aquí. And there's no way that you're not gonna remember that.
Exactly.
Especialmente en un momento, ¿no? De
Exactly. It was taught to me like, hey, you know what you gotta do. Your only answer, you know, if you go to a psychiatrist and stuff like that, it's not gonna help you. You're gonna take these pills, it's not gonna help you, you know. Because I would take Xans, I would take like bars, like I mixed everything. I tried everything. Nothing worked for me. So at that point, I was like, all right, I need to go back to church. But then that's where the struggle started, you know. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go this day. And I wouldn't go, you know? And then I would be like, oh, I'll go this day. Y no iba. Until one day I had the worst panic attack inside of a Walmart because I was stalling getting to church. I remember.
What?
I was like, I'm going to go to church.
Te desviaste.
Yeah, and then I was like, nah, you know what? Forget it, because I was scared. And I was embarrassed. So I took a turn into a Walmart, and I remember, so I'm like walking and shopping around, no?
A ver, tú ¿Tú tenías vergüenza de qué?
Like the shame that like, hey, I was there once and I'm coming back and now I'm like a complete hot mess, no? Like my life is like destroyed. And so I remember I went into Walmart and out of nowhere, like by the electronics section, I still remember, I started feeling like I was about to pass out. Like everything started spinning and I was like, oh my God, I can't breathe, you know? And I was by myself. And I remember I noticed the employees staring at me. And one of them was like, hey, are you okay? And I didn't even get a chance to respond. I was like, I just kept walking. And like, I literally started rushing and I made it to the grocery section, like almost to the exit. And at the grocery section, I just started bawling. Like, I just couldn't stop. Like, I just started bawling, like crying con intensidad, no? So I'm looking like this crazy person, no? Just crying out of the Walmart, you know? So I make it into the car and like, I literally just cried my eyes out. And I made it again. I was like, okay, I'm gonna drive to church. And I made it halfway and I stopped in a parking lot and I couldn't do it. I couldn't make it. Like, I couldn't. And so I remember I just started crying. I started crying and nothing.
Oye, y sí, Jackie, que hay personas que tal vez ven este video y ellos o ya pasaron eso o están pasando eso. Estás mirando este video y algo te dice, hey, vuelve, come back. Number one, we miss you, but God misses you. Y tal vez por pena, tal vez por vergüenza, you don't want to come back. Y tú tienes esa pelea constante mental, en tus pensamientos. Tal vez tú ya intentaste venir y tú ya, tal igual como ella, te fuiste. Tal vez aquí en West Park, tú entraste, tú ibas a estar aquí, pero tú quedaste en la gasolinera. Y en vez de entrar, te hiciste la vuelta y te fuiste. Vemos la historia de Jackie, de Rachel, un poco de Isaac, que estaba ahí y miró eso de Rachel. Y tenemos otras historias también, like, for example, Ivana, tú me estabas hablando un poco sobre tu pasado de enfermedades. ¿Cómo era eso? How was that?
So, you could say from the very beginning, no? Because when I was 9 months old, I got diagnosed with a rare form of leukemia that pretty much they said something was wrong with the DNA, no, with the chromosomes. So, it was something that they kind of like was rare, because even if I were to overcome it or get in remission, how they say no, because it was something in my DNA, they said it's going to come back. Mm-hmm. So from the very beginning, I pretty much grew up in the hospital. No, I literally, like, I learned to walk. I had my first birthday in the hospital. I had my first boyfriend in the hospital. I had I learned everything. Yeah.
Así subió.
No.
She's like, I still pack that thing too. Don't get it twisted. I'm a fana.
Yeah. So, but I passed. Yeah, like I had. You could say like like everyone says like, oh, you have a many first, no? And all of mine were literally in the hospital, and so, because of that, unfortunately, you see a lot when you're in the hospital, no? In terms of like you get close to people, and then one of the big things that would happen is that you get close to people, like you get a family, but then unfortunately in their cases they don't make it or they don't survive and they pass. And so that would really hit me a lot, and I felt like I would see that constantly, no? And my parents, I remember they would take me to like the funerals to like say the goodbyes and things like that at an early age, like at a super early age. And even though I didn't understand like the concept of death, like I remember like seeing those things. And so I always had that curiosity of, I didn't know what it was called at the time, but like of the soul, like where it went, because I would be like, nothing's there, like being little, but like, and I would always ask my parents, where did they go?
¿Qué pasa con el alma?
Yeah,
¿no?
Yeah, like what happens to that? And she was like, no, like they're there, like you're saying goodbye. I'm like, no, but like they're not there. Like where did they go? And she wouldn't understand. And so I remember that like I started like passing through like a lot of like seeing all those things and not understanding. I really was going through a lot of they call it survivor's guilt, because I felt guilty like when I was considered a survivor.
Tú estabas sobreviviendo, tú aún seguías viva y cada uno de tus amigos little by little
were passing, no? And so I think people imagine it to be like, oh, it's really, really happy, like that's really good. And there's a part that like, yeah, but I would feel guilty, no? Because I remember something that like really hit me was like when I would go to the funerals, like, and the parents would see me, they just like break down and they hit, like literally they would hit the floor crying, because like and I knew why. Like, their child passed, and I was still there, no? So I would feel so entirely guilty, and I would never understand. Like, I would even be like, why did I survive? You know, like, why didn't other people do it? And so I just became really depressed. I had survivor's guilt, and then because of other things that I saw, no, like even I went through, I had a medical reaction, no, and I became paralyzed for a little bit. I couldn't move anything, and I remember like feeling like really scared in that, and so like it was just really weird to see it because in that time there wasn't a lot of research out, no, so I literally was like the guinea pig for a lot of drugs. And, you know, whatever reaction happened, like, it was me that was going through it, including the transplant I have. For the transplant that I had, I'm the first pediatric patient to survive it over at MD Anderson. And so it was just really weird seeing, like, all of that. And it made me feel like, oh, these doctors, they don't care for me, no? Because look at me, like, I went paralyzed. I lost hearing. I had, like, my skin literally burned off several times.
¿Cuántos años tenías?
I was in treatment from 9 months to about 6 or 7, no, of active treatment they call it, and then you go through like different processes called like the after effects of chemotherapy, because chemo is pretty toxic, no, so like if you're giving it to a child, it's gonna affect their organs. That's just
You lost your hair? Or
I
think you showed me a...
Yeah, I lost my hair, I lost my eyebrows, I lost everything. I looked like really weird, not gonna lie. And then, you know, it was like a really weird situation, no, because, and the weird thing is that when I was going through all of that, I thought that was normal, no, because I went to a hospital that was just for cancer, so everyone had cancer. So I grew up thinking like, okay, this is...
Todos tienen cancer?
Yeah, everyone had cancer, literally. Like it's MD Anderson Cancer Center, so like everyone there has cancer, or you're a family member of someone who has it. So I remember like, once I like exited out of that, that's when I realized like, oh wait, like this isn't normal. Like what I went through wasn't normal. And so that caused a lot of like traumatic stress. And so because of that, I had to they would put me through therapy. And I would talk to like, I had like a little group of like psychologists and like people that I would, I guess like, I don't know, go through therapy and do that stuff with. And it was weird because I remember like, they would be like, oh, you know, like, we're gonna, like, sit. And it was, like, I would feel good for a little bit after talking to them. But then, like, the next day, it was like I was going through the same thing. Like, it was like, yeah, okay, it's nice to talk to it. But it wasn't like I never saw any changes, really.
Ahora, Vana, you said that, you had a lot of firsts. You had a boyfriend, all that.
Yeah.
I remember porque yo miré tu testimonio, and you spoke a little bit about that. ¿Qué pasó con él? How'd that go?
Yeah, so it was really, so with him, unfortunately, he as well had a really rare cancer, and there wasn't, you know, you could give a lot of reasons, but, you know, the doctors were like, there's not a lot of research, and he, you know, I think, you know, he gave his best fight, but he didn't make it, and so that really took it hard because I was already in the church fighting for him, and so for me, that was like one of the biggest pains, no, because I remember I did a sacrifice, I did a campaign, and so when he passed, it was like, and I gave my all in that sacrifice, no, and so I remember thinking like, I remember feeling, no, deceived by God, because I was like, I gave my all.
¿Cuánto tiempo ya tenías en la iglesia?
I didn't have that much time. I only had maybe like a couple.
Estaban comenzando.
Yeah, I was starting, no, because I remember like entering and then maybe like 4 or 5 months, no, and the campaign hit and I was like, okay, like I want to do this for him, and yeah. So
¿Cómo te sentiste después?
After that? Oh, well, like I was saying, like I felt deceived by God, and it took me like a while to realize, no, and I think that's something that like God, you know, as the counselor and you know, he's a spirit, you know, he's a counselor, he's a comforter, no, but like throughout the time, like I realized like, you know, in a weird way that could be a part of God's plan, no, because God knew like that we were trying to follow his ways in that relationship, and we were trying to honor him in that relationship. So I think in my opinion, my belief, people can think whatever they want, but I think that God had to take him so that we wouldn't fall into temptation. No, so that he could save the soul.
So,
well, sorry.
Yeah,
okay. You don't know. Yeah.
I mean, no lo conozco, ¿entiendes? Ahora como I know not say. Yeah, bro. If si tú crees, hey, man, that's sacrifice now.
That's what I believe, no? And I believe that it also took, because that, for me at least, like, it took, like, that, like, realizing, like, losing him in a way, to realize, like, I want to get, like, my own life better with God, and that helped me kind of, it steered me in the right direction throughout my whole process.
Ahora, Vanna, I remember one time yo hablé contigo y te pregunté sobre tus amigos and everything, and you told me, well, you know, all my friends, all mis amigos, poco a poco in that hospital started dying. You know, tú siendo una persona que miraste todo eso y te encuentras aquí hoy, you know, you find yourself en la presencia de Dios y tú estás sanada ahora, like, ¿cómo? Like, how do you, like, I know it's weird, pero ¿cómo te sientes? Like, you made it.
Yeah.
You know, like.
It's really,
No llores, Chuy, por favor.
Not gonna lie, sometimes I look back and I'm like, dang, like, God really took me out of all that. And it was something, like I said, like in the beginning, like it was something like if I were to get out of it, it was going to come back, no?
Yeah.
And I always think about like how Jesus, like he does take things like illnesses on the cross, because like I'm more than 10 years cancer free now, no? By doctors' medical terms, you know, like it never came back. Like, and to me, like that's because like Jesus took it on the cross, you know.
That boy Jesus took it off of you.
Yeah, he really did.
Took all of them in the book.
Yeah, he took so much, and so I, you know, in regards to that, like having this feel like how I feel now, I think that, you know, sometimes God, you know, he'll take away something, but it's true, like he takes it away, but to give you so much more. Like,
yeah.
Like I feel like, you know, in the hospital I had friends, but here I have family, and that's so much more.
Oh.
That boy's crying.
Yeah, low key, like I don't know, I want to cry right now too.
Don't cry, please.
No, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not.
No, they like it.
No, but like, you know, and I'm also like an only child, no? So in the trip on the hotel, like I felt like yo, these are my brothers and sisters. Like I see it as family.
Che, you about to make me cry now. Stop playing. But you see, tal vez hay personas, because I look at your story, right? And I go like, yo, what has this girl not seen? You know what I mean? Tú has estado tan cerca a la muerte. Tú has estado más cerca a la muerte, yo creo, que cualquier persona aquí, all of us put together. Time after time again. Yo no me imagino, ni siquiera me imagino cuántos velorios tú ya fuiste, how many funerals you already went to. You know that. And, you know, look at you, like yo, yo solo me, you know, I ask myself, if Ivana goes through a struggle, like, she's not gonna give up. Like, this girl, like, stared death in the face. Like, like, her and death know each other already. Like, ya no tienes miedo. Like, you're somebody who, like, legit, no, que superó eso. And, you know, tal vez hay personas, you know, tú nos ves ahora y tú tienes un familiar enfermo. Tú estás enfermo. Y tal vez las noticias de los doctores no están yendo muy bien. And you don't know what to do, pero tú ves a una persona que, por ejemplo, en Havana, que enfermedad tras enfermedad, problema tras problema, situación tras situación. Look at where she is, ¿no? Y Dios te dio mucho más, like you said, no más que amigos, familia. Y es eso. That's why we're here. Porque yo no me encuentro aquí con personas que no conozco. Yo me encuentro aquí con familia. You know, and we want you to be part of that. Queremos que tú vengas a ser parte de eso. Entonces, si tú nos ves ahora y quieres enviarnos un mensaje, you can do so. Pero si tú dices, hey, you know what, yo necesito un poco de ayuda, necesito oración, aquí estamos para eso. You know, yo llegué, what we got, 5 months, Peter? 5 meses, 6 meses? 5 meses, 6 meses. Y yo les puedo decir que en este tiempo, you know, me ha acercado a cada uno, por tan pequeño que tal vez fue la conversa, pero de una manera espiritual que me ha ayudado a mí. It's benefited me. No es algo que digo, oh, I came to Texas, oh, me enojo. No, like, yo, this is family now. Like, that's it. Y ellos se quedarán para siempre. En el día que me vaya de aquí, years from now, and so on and so forth. Pero cuando tú vienes al YPG, that's exactly que tú vas a encontrar. Entonces, cada domingo a la 1 de la tarde nos encontramos aquí juntos. Ahora, Chihuahua, ¿tú vienes de dónde? ¿De qué parte de Texas? A ver, puedes acercarte aquí.
Sí.
Ahí está la Chihuahua. Yo les digo Chihuahua porque tú eres ¿de qué parte de México?
De Chihuahua, señor.
Entonces, cada uno... Bueno, claro, ¿no? It makes sense. Ajá. Entonces, Chihuahua, ¿tú creciste en Chihuahua? ¿Cómo es tu historia?
Sí, ahí estoy nerviosa. Sí, crecí en Chihuahua, en una ciudad extremadamente violenta, ¿no? Que era en aquel entonces la ciudad más peligrosa del mundo, que es Ciudad Juárez, Chihuahua. Entonces se puede decir que vimos muchas cosas, mucha sangre, mucha gente que murió, que perdió a sus papás. Y después pues cruzamos el charco, cruzamos a El Paso y ahí yo conocí la Iglesia Universal, ¿no? Conocí el YPG ahí.
¿Y cómo era eso? Porque cada vez que tú me cuentas me da risa. Entonces, ¿cómo tú llegaste al YPG? ¿Cómo era eso? Porque tú no viniste simplemente porque te encontraron en la calle. No. Fue una amiga, ¿right? What? ¿Cómo fue eso?
Casi. No, yo tenía, como venía de México, no tenía muchas amistades, ¿verdad? Entonces, yo como que seguía la bola nada más. Y una persona...
Sigues hasta el día de hoy. Ajá. Tranquilo, Chihuahua, no te agüites. Échale.
Es que soy de Chihuahua, pero... Una amiga que éramos compañeras en la escuela, ella tenía adicciones, ¿no? Y ella había estado, al igual que Jackie, era una persona que había estado en la iglesia y se había apartado. Y sufría de ataques de ansiedad, tenía problemas con la drogadicción. Y un día ella decidió ir al YPG, pero dijo, bueno, no voy sola. Y me dijo, mira, voy a dejar las drogas, los vicios, todo. Y dije, pues qué bueno.
More power to you. Good luck.
Me dijo, va a empezar a la iglesia igual, y pues qué bueno. Y me dijo, ¿y tú vas a ir conmigo? Y le dije, ok. Y comenzamos a ir.
Siguiendo la bola
todavía. Y comenzamos a ir. Y yo me acuerdo que llegamos al YPG y yo nunca había estado en un grupo de jóvenes. Como usted dice, o como mencionaba Ivana, ¿no? Que yo me sintiera como en familia. Desafortunadamente, cuando yo vine a Estados Unidos, yo me tuve que quedar siempre dando, no que yo quisiera dar lástima, pero siempre daba lástima, ¿no? Porque vine sola sin mi familia. Entonces yo nunca me sentí acogida. Nunca me sentí que estaba con personas que les interesaba o personas que me quisieran ayudar genuinamente. Cuando llegué al YPG encontré eso, ¿sabe? Encontré personas que me hicieron de su familia, de verdad. Y me empezaron a caer bien, me empezó a gustar llegar al YPG. Y poco a poco yo fui dejando las cosas que yo hacía. Se puede decir que conocí de Dios, del Señor Jesús, a través de las personas que estaban en el YPG.
Y yo, cuando tú viniste, porque, aún bien, cuando yo llegué al YPG, no me gustó. I was like, yo, ¿quiénes son estos aquí gritando, cantando? Like, yo me enojaba. Ajá. Todos felices, like, yo, you're not allowed to have a smile on, dude. Like, what's wrong with you? Pero para ti era diferente. ¿A ti te encantó en el primer día?
Sí, a mí me gustó. Se me hizo así súper divertido, ¿no? Porque...
Todos nosotros negativos, ¿no? And she loved it right off the bat. Ajá, ¿cómo fue?
Primero todo el mundo se sorprendió porque yo llegué dándole beso a todo el mundo, ¿no? Saludando de beso en el cachete. Y aquí no se usa nada, y todo el mundo como que wow.
No me toques.
Que no, estoy diciendo hola nomás. Y me dieron comida, ¿no? Dije, wow. Y qué extraño, porque yo no había visto eso nunca, ¿no? Me acuerdo que ya después del servicio llegaron y no, vamos a la cocina, y yo, ok. Y todos los jóvenes ya sabían, se sentaban todos interactuando, hablando uno con el otro, riéndose, y nos trajeron una comida. No sé, fue algo así bien lindo. Y luego jugamos Just Dance, ¿se llama?
Ah, sí.
Sí, y a mí se me hizo wow, porque yo nunca había usado el Wii, ¿no? Entonces...
Te enseñamos un mundo diferente.
Estados Unidos, sueño americano.
Erro. Es que en Chihuahua solo tienen Nintendo, el Nintendo 64, el antiguo.
Caballos.
Y canicas.
Canicas. Entonces, ¿te gustó? You played Just Dance.
Y no sé, más que la actividad que hicimos, me gustó la alegría, me gustó la unidad, me gustó cómo me hicieron sentir, ¿sabe? Acogida. Después de ahí, nunca más falté al YPG.
¿Y en qué año llegaste al YPG?
Yo llegué en el 2014 y hasta hoy jamás salí del YPG. Dios, bueno, hasta que llegué.
¿Por qué? Porque tenemos diferentes responsabilidades y la Chihuahua cuida de los chamacos, los plebes del TPG. Saludos a... I saw that in the video. ¿Qué significa plebes?
It's like a gang.
¿Es gang?
The gang, no, like the gang, like, you know.
Está casi no, pandilla no. Los hipotes, los chihuines, right? Usan mocosos, escuincles. Ahí vamos por ahí. Pero te sentiste bien.
Sí, me gustó el YPG. Fue diferente. Cuando yo estaba más chica en Chihuahua, habíamos ido a una iglesia que también tenía grupo de jóvenes. Pero nunca había sentido así, ¿no? Como que era, ven, sé parte de esto, parte de nosotros. Y yo nunca vi una respuesta, se puede decir, o yo nunca vi como que, puede ser una salida, ¿me entiendes? Entonces, pero en el YPG yo lo vi así, como que me ofrecieron una salida, como que, ok, tú eres así, vas a cambiar, no te preocupes.
Ahora pasó 8 años, ¿verdad? 8 years. Ya no es Just Dance, pero hacemos otras cosas. ¿Cómo ves la evolución del YPG?
Se ha vuelto así como algo súper increíble a mis ojos. El YPG antes era algo como que eran juegos de minute to win it, ¿verdad? Un minuto para ganar, cosas así sencillas. Y hoy son proyectos, ¿sabes? Algo serio. Es deporte, es para help, ¿no?
Yeah.
Es como para gente.
Acabas de jugar fútbol. Es por eso que anda sudada, es por eso que la Rachel está sudada, el Isaac y el Chuy también. No, porque tal vez ven, digo, ¿quiénes son esos aquí todos sudados, plebes y sucios, los de la calle? No, estamos jugando, tenemos una cancha aquí. Ajá. Entonces el grupo ha madurado.
Evolucionado, se puede decir, ¿verdad? Porque ahora hay como que áreas en las que tú encajas. A mí me gusta el deporte, a mí me gusta la cultura.
¿Tú juegas fútbol?
Yo juego fútbol.
Tú también, Rachel. Y el Chuy, intentas. Y el Isaac, el Isaac es la estrella. Pero es eso. So, if you're watching us, si ustedes nos están mirando ahora, y tal vez ustedes se preguntan, bueno, quiero unirme, ¿cómo lo hago? ¿Qué debo de hacer? O tal vez tú haces parte de tu YPG y no estás sabiendo mucho de esos proyectos, tú puedes entrar en eso. Paso, pero solo soy yo, por ahora, no hay nadie aquí. Entonces empieza tú. It all starts with one. Empieza con uno. I remember when I came to YPG, era exactamente eso, ¿no? Los juegos y yo siempre me imaginaba, one day, pronto, nuestro nivel va a subir. And look at the level we're at now.
Yeah. I remember when I left, it was like the minute to win it and todo eso, ¿no? And when I came back, it was like, we have sports, we have university.
No menospreciando the minute to win it games. I'm just saying, because stacking 7 apples, that's a talent.
Putting the Oreo on your face and trying to move it.
This is easy. Entonces tú lo colocas aquí, right? Look, keys. Write this down. Here, right? You pop your head back. You lift up the cookie and you catch it in your mouth. Ya. You ever tried that? Yeah. We got cookies there. Tenemos galletas por ahí. Yo, that's the way. Pero no menospreciando esos juegos, porque I remember, there was tissue boxes, and you would have to. The balloons, un montón. My gosh. Nah. Solo el Fercho still misses. You still miss the game.
A little.
Bernie misses vinyls.
El Fercho tiene su copa más. Sabemos que no hay nada en la copa de él. Porque I've been grabbing my cup and there's been nothing. No hay nada aquí adentro. Pero en la próxima habrá. Si ustedes tienen alguna pregunta, if you have any question, siempre estamos aquí a la disposición de ayudar, de hablar con ustedes. Como Laura dijo, ¿no? Que tenemos proyectos diferentes. Como ustedes ven detrás de mí, tenemos los deportes, secretaries, arcángeles, tenemos nacidos para el altar, Unifuerza, el Help, cultura, media, un montón de cosas. Y por increíble que suena, I know you guys are probably like, oh snap, their studio looks fire. No, we're out here just putting it together. Pero ahí vamos. Yeah, necessity is the mother of invention. Pero ahí vamos, poco a poco. You know what I mean? Y es eso, cada uno colocando de su parte. And that's what it's all about. Entonces, si ustedes quieren hacer parte, no de un grupo de amigos, más de una familia, then you're all invited. ¿Está bien? God bless all of you. Take care.